And I did see a USC writer, tweet, boy, that's a lot of money for a guy who's 13-12. Well, if you're going to base your opinion on the win-loss record, you really don't understand what's going on here in Boulder.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for clicking on this video. I do appreciate it. By now, you've heard of Coach Prime record-breaking $54 million contract, being the highest paid coach in the Big 12, and he's already the highest paid coach at Colorado. Colorado's history, he's the highest paid coach, and deservingly so. But in the contract, right, there's a key moment that I think you must have missed that I want to talk about, and I want to tell you why that key moment is very important. We're not going to waste no time. We're going to jump right into it. But before we do that, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. All right, family, I got to go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. We've all got a Miss Julia or Miss Becky or Miss Hawksworth or whatever. We all got one of those on the church board. You feel me? Or Mr. Wilford or whoever that is on the church board. That person is going to be a sore thumb right in the side of the pastor when he is trying to get his agenda across. All right. So there's always that one person that kind of has a I don't know about this, right? Especially if there's somebody that the pastor sometimes is like, hey, you got to reprimand sometimes because you know that they are a firebrand. Sometimes the pastor got to be like, Miss Julia or Mr. Wilford, come on now, like that idea. So when it comes down to vote on things, guess what's going to happen? Mr. Rutherford or Miss Julia, whatever your person is at your church on your church board, they're going to be like, I vote nay. What does that have to do with Coach Prime? Let me share that with you. By the way, this news reporting was done by Brian Howell of thedailycamera.com. He covers the Buffs. So this is what he had to say. Pay attention to this key phrase. Deion Sanders have been rewarded with a record-breaking contract after a transformational first 2 seasons as Colorado's head football coach. That's not it. Let's keep going. On Friday, CU athletic director, Pretty Ricky, I call him Pretty Ricky, Rick George announced a new 5-year, $54 million contract for Sanders that will make him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. Here it goes. The contract was unanimously approved. Again, the contract was unanimously approved by CU's Board of Regents on Friday morning. Why is that important? That's what I want to talk about. If you are watching on the video and not just on audio, I'm going to highlight that in blue. The word is unanimously. Unanimously approved by CU's Board of Regents on Friday morning. So tell me, Harry B., why is that important? Why you got me clicking on those videos? I thought it was something important. We all know that. Well, here's why it's important. In earlier conversations that we were having, we were talking about the fact that, hey, is there somebody in there that may not be favorable to Coach Prime, that may not have Coach Prime's best interest? This unanimous vote tells us that everybody is on board with Coach Prime's vision, what he has done in the past, and what he has put forth to want to do for these next couple of years until 2029, where his contract is going to now be $12 million. So keep in mind, you have Kirby Smart of the Georgia Bulldogs, who makes $13.2 million. That is the highest paid college football coach. And we know Kirby Smart with the Georgia Bulldogs getting 4- and 5-star players all the time. He has won a couple of natties. Coach Prime ain't got no natty. Coach Prime ain't won the big game yet. So he's garnering just under $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Just under $1 million less than the highest paid coach in college football who has won several natties. So to put it in perspective, everybody is on board. That means the vision is clear. He wrote the vision, made it clear so that they can run and not faint. If you are a Bible scholar or a Christian scholar, you should know what I'm talking about. But there's more. Let me bring in my guys, Brian Howell and Adam Mustard Tiger. They had a discussion about this, and they said a couple of things that I found to be profound, which was actually how I got the idea for this video. I was like, you know what they said right there is important. We need to highlight that. These two guys I respect a lot because they cover the Buffs and they bring great information. So let's listen to what they got to say. This video is on Adam Mustard Tiger's YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel is buffstampede.com. Okay, so buffstampede.com. That's BUFF Stampede, STAMPEDEDOTCOM. That's his YouTube channel. Go check him out.
And I did see a USC writer, tweet, boy, that's a lot of money for a guy who's 13-12. Well, if you're going to base your opinion on the win-loss record, you really don't understand what's going on here in Boulder and why that's worth it. So, just the economic impact, the TV impact, the ticket sales, merchandise sales, and as CU pointed out in their release, I threw it in my story, was the dramatic increase in applications, and enrollment is higher, and I think it's 20% overall higher applications. It's 50% higher among students that identify as Black or African American. So the impact that he's made.
So 50% applications, that's worthy of highlighting. You feel me? Coach Prime came, he was not just a football coach. Coach Prime came with an agenda. He said, we're going to change some things around here, and that's going to be in the grades of the students. We're going to bring that up to 3.0, 3 point something or higher, and we're going to maintain that throughout. So that was one accomplishment. And since he's been there doing positive things off the field, he's also raised applications 50%, all right, at a PWI, raised applications 50% of African Americans, or at least people that identify themselves as African Americans. So it could be POC, people of color, or whatever it is. Those applications have been raised 50%. When you're thinking about the Board of Regents and Miss Julia, Mr. Rutherford, I forget the names that I said earlier, but if you're thinking about those people, just thinking about impressing everybody who may have their own ideas. But there's more to this. Let's keep listening.
Isn't just football. It's the entire city of Boulder. It's the CU community, and it's no wonder why this was unanimously approved by the regents. It helps that Jack Kroll's not a regent anymore, but I think it made a lot of sense for everybody.
So that was their Miss Julia or Mr. Ruther or whatever his name is on that Board of Regents, or on the church board that would have put some things in there. So I don't know who Jack Kroll is. Please go into the comments if you understand or know who Jack Kroll is. I try to find who Jack Kroll is. I was getting coaches from different schools and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? Maybe Jack Kroll is not that important that I find his information. But it sounds like the fact that they brought it up, it sounds like maybe Jack Kroll would have been somebody that opposes Coach Prime or what Coach Prime is trying to do on whatever level. Maybe they just didn't like the 4-8 first season, or maybe Coach Prime's personality, wearing the gold chains, bringing DJs in the cafeteria, and having all kinds of demands, or whatever his style is. We don't know what the reason why Jack Kroll did not like Coach Prime, and he probably would have been that one person to oppose. But the idea that it was unanimous, everybody was like, let's do it. Not just that it was unanimous, but there's another key moment in that unanimous vote. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that needs to be mentioned in all of this, is that you've got a president, chancellor, an athletic director, and a board of regents that all seem to be rowing in the same direction.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jack Kroll. They had some issues with Linda Shoemaker as well, who was seemingly kind of using that platform to make some kind of political statement where.
Okay, so there was two people. So it was Jack Kroll, Shoemaker. Okay, so there was a couple of people on that board, on the Board of Regents, that they had some political issues. I don't know if you guys remember, but there are some people at Colorado, or there's some outside sources that do not want Coach Prime to pray with the students, to bring his Christian values to the students and stuff like that. So maybe their ears were being pulled in by those outside sources or forces. I like the word forces for sure on this type of issue, because what's weird is every time something major happens, like on 9/11, we all said prayer. We all said, oh, pray for these things, pray for the person, let's pray for our country. You know what I'm saying? One nation under God. So who doesn't like prayer? That's the weird thing. Who doesn't like prayer? A coach that's outspoken about his faith and religion, and even the Notre Dame coach, and even I believe the Ohio State coach, the Philadelphia Eagles that just won the Super Bowl, even their coaches are Christian and they have Christian values. Whenever you have Christianity or you have religion that's involved, I'm just going to speak about my religion. Whenever you have Christianity involved, and if the person is really about that life, there there is always this peace, this calm that is around the school, right? Obviously, there's been some issues with a couple of players, but it's not every day you're going to get players that are being arrested. Or if you look at other teams where their players are being arrested, DWI, all those crazy things, you would think like having a coach like Coach Prime, you know, who's praying for those kids and always trying to infuse God and try to let them know, hey, do the right thing and stuff like that. That would be a good thing and everybody will be on board. I'm not saying that Crow and Shoemaker were trying to start trouble or were against Coach Prime's Christianity, but you can just imagine if they're trying to use that platform for political stuff, they may have tried to bring up arguments or something that just was not part of what Coach Prime was feeling, but they're not there anymore. So I thought that was important for me to share that with you also, but that's not what I wanted to share with you. There's another part of that that's coming right up now.
You don't have that right now. There wasn't this angst of whether this contract was going to get approved because these folks understand the impact that he has. And so that part of it, I think for longtime Colorado fans has been great to see as well, and shouldn't be overlooked because really before Todd Solomon took over, Brian, we would do some of these analysis videos talking about the future of the program and some of the hurdles that seemed impossible to get over, but it didn't take him a whole lot of time as the president to get everybody, again, kind of rowing in the same direction.
That's important to note. I don't know if you follow politics, so that's the name of the channel. Go over to my channel, The Billionaire's Mindset, where I talk about politics and other things. But what I wanted to say, if you know about a little bit about politics and stuff like that, you know that within the Democratic caucus or within the GOP caucuses, you have a leader, whether it's in the House or in the Senate, they have to pretty much wrangle their people, right? Because not everybody's of the same mindset. You have the general concept of what the party stands for, but when it comes to certain legislation and certain votes and stuff like that, you need to bring everybody on board. Everybody's not going to be for abortion. Everybody's not going to be for gay rights. Everybody's not going to be for the homeless program because they're coming from different backgrounds. So you got to wrangle them in. So what they just said right there about the president, he didn't have a tough time trying to bring everybody together. This is what Prime wants to do. He went 4-8 the first season. We're coming from 1-11. The second time we went 9-4. It was 9-3 in the regular season. We went to the Alamo Bowl. We lost the Alamo Bowl, so we went 9-4. But we were also tied for first place in the Big 12. This is in year number 2. If you watch the video that I made about Coach Prime and his year 2 records, it's immaculate. Okay, year number 2's Coach Prime is on record to be immaculate. Selling Coach Prime, whatever his vision was, whatever he pitched to them, that idea was easy to sell. He's transforming the whole sport of college football, bringing up new ideas, innovative new ideas, like the idea that he pitched, having the spring game being played with another school, and then he wanted to play North Carolina. Bill Belichick, who just got there, we know Bill Belichick is a dynamic coach coming from the Patriots. He couldn't find another job because he's a firebrain. He's a hothead too, allegedly. Right? We all know he's a hothead, but yeah, so he couldn't find another organization that would bring him in because he needs full control. He came to the college ranks, so now this big mega person coming to the college ranks, and everybody's thinking, oh my goodness, if he won all of those Super Bowls with Tom Brady and whatnot, you can just imagine he's being branded the face of college football coaches and now being like the Nick Saban because he has that ability to really impact players, right? Imagine that against Coach Prime, the Coach Prime, the guy. They wanted to put that together. I don't know if that fell through. They didn't want to play or whatever. So Coach Prime is like, all right, that's cool. We got Syracuse. Syracuse coach is like, yo, coach, I'll come through there. I'll give you 3 days with practice. And then the game, blah, boom, bada bang, everybody wins. So that's looking good. They went and they filed some paperwork, you feel me, to the NCAA board of whatever directors or whatever they have to do. They did the right paperwork. We're just waiting to find out. That's going to break the internet as soon as that happens. So Coach Prime is an innovative coach that has great ideas. He's proposing a lot of things. So this was an easy bet. This was like, look, we got one of the most innovative, most polarizing coaches in the whole sport.
You're absolutely right about that. And yeah, I think you were. I know you were tweeting it live, so I think you were listening to the regions. It was quick, right? And in the past, it's not always quick, and it was just kind of a, all right, who wants to put a motion for this? And it was like a rush to raise their hands who wanted to put a motion for it, and it was a very quick vote. And so, yeah, not only Todd Solomon.
Think about it. Let me just let him finish his thought, and then I'll go in.
But the new chancellor, Justin Schwartz, who I'm not sure if a lot of fans have got to know him quite yet.
Don't know him yet.
Phil DeStefano was there for so long, but Justin Schwartz, in the time I've talked to him, very much on board with athletics and all the things going on there, and understands the importance of it, as Phil DeStefano did as well. So when you have everybody, as you mentioned, rowing in the same direction, that's how you go faster, right? And that's what's needed to move this athletic department and this football program forward, is everybody aligned, and they certainly are. I think that's one thing that athletic director Rick George, I think, is really pleased about, is that that's, I think, probably better than it's been in the entire time he's been here, is that alignment from the entire administration.
And there you have it, guys. Right there, that key phrase or that statement right there. As soon as you say, hey, Coach Prime, new contract, everybody got their hands raised. You see what I'm saying? Coach Prime, new contract. Oh, what? We already know. If you don't know Justin Schwartz, the new chancellor, stay to the end of this video. I'm going to play that video for you if you watch the end of this video. But I just wanted to highlight the fact that everybody rushed to raise their hands. That was very important. So this whole contract situation, something you have to understand is you can't please everyone. And for programs to work smoothly, we can say everything we want to say about the players, everything we want to say about the NIL and everything working. Sometimes programs just don't work, even though they have a great roster. The coaching staff is stellar. The roster is just full of 4 and 5 stars, and linebackers are speedy. They got an offensive line, a defensive line, but there are other nuances that we don't pay attention to that I like to always highlight, because I know that there is more to this entire thing than just playing on the field and calling plays. Just like Robert Livingston told you, we know the plays. All we just doing is just like, okay, left, go left, do this. It's like ordering from a fast food menu. If you ask me, it's not that complicated, right? These guys know what they're doing, but the behind the scenes matter as well. So these people raising their hands and giving that vote of confidence and doing it fast, because Brian and Adam, they were watching the entire process, and them being able to tell you that, look, this process was very fast, and in the past, they didn't do it that fast, is to let you know that Coach Prime is on the right track. Just like they said, when you have everybody on board, rocket in the same direction, there is no tug of war. You're not battling this, you're not battling that. I feel like in year number 1, which I told y'all before, there was some riffraff in the organization. I told you by week number 3, I could tell that Sean Lewis and Coach Prime and other people within that organization didn't really understand what Coach Prime was trying to do. It seemed like there were some molds within the organization, within that board of regents, or behind the scenes things that happened. So I'm glad to bring this to you and to highlight this, because I wanted to let you know that while we are all judging the play and the coach's decisions and Coach Prime maybe making a mistake calling this play, there is always more to this picture, this bigger picture, than what we see going on the field. Coach Prime, maybe he wants to do this and it doesn't happen. Coach Prime says, I want my assistants, my coaching staff, to get paid before we get to me. That's what happened. Schumer got his contract. You got Livingston got his contract. They brought in Marshall Falk and other supporting staff. Warren Sapp got his contract. So everybody around Coach Prime, they're feeling good. They got taken care of monetarily. Their salaries are good. They're going to be in good headspace. They're not feeling like they got left out. And we're talking about just Coach Prime getting paid. He ain't greedy. He wants everybody to eat. He reminds me of 50 Cent. You feel me? Whether you like 50 Cent or not, you know what I'm saying? And if you remember that story that I told you about 50 Cent, he's connected to Colorado as well, because the name C Unit, which is the student section at University of Colorado, that C Unit came from G Unit. If you understand what I'm saying, like, I do videos to bring you some information that's going to give you more than just, oh my God, this is football. There was in the B gap, there was in the A gap. There's a story that connects all of us to our favorite teams. And that's what I like to do here on this channel. I give you those intricate stories, those really low details that you get from this channel, and only from this channel, that gets you excited for your team. It's like when you watch the Olympics, they tell you the low detail, the low, nuanced stories that makes you feel like, oh wow, I didn't know the board of regents, they raise their hand very fast. TLP Sports Club is going to get that for you. So you think that deserves a little bit of a, hey man, let me give him a like. Hey man, let me comment, Harry B. I'm working hard for you. And I just wanted to make sure that you got that story out, because Coach Prime is doing something good. Whether you like him or whether you hate him, it's important that he got everybody on board to rock with the vision that he got for Colorado. All right. So this season, when you're watching, pay attention. Those little nuances, they're game winners. All right. When everybody's happy, you do a better job. If everybody's sad and everybody's kind of butting heads behind the scenes, it reflects in the on field. Ask my man DC Carson. He'll tell you about synergy and stuff like that. How teams come together when everybody's rocking together. That could be a difference between 1 or 2 other games that Colorado can win. I'm telling you, this stuff is important. So I wanted to bring you that information. Maybe a lot of people missed that. I'm not sure if anybody else highlighted that. I don't want to seem like so boastful, like I'm the only one telling you. I just felt that it was important to share that with you, to tell you that Coach Prime is headed in the right direction because he's doing the right thing and everybody's on board with his vision. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, and I'm bringing you content that adds value to your favorite team, Colorado, I'm going to start doing this type of stuff for other teams as well in the Big 12. And then eventually we're going to start expanding to college football as a whole so that everybody has some information and some exciting information brought to you by TLP Sports Club. You know what I'm saying? The history channel for college football, the history channel for your favorite team, giving you intricate stories for your favorite team. And I'm going to reward you now if you stay tuned for the Chancellor's speech. So here it is. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.
So I've already welcomed you, but I want to ask, so in Boulder, what's the most Boulder thing that you've done?
So done a few hikes, and that's clearly very Boulder, but I would probably point to an event that maybe was a little bit more heavy, but that was the Ride for Magnus, right, which recognized the death of a Boulder figure in cycling, who was the very beginning really of his life. And it was, over 3,500 cyclists came out, and it was not just to commemorate and remember him, but it was to advocate for safety, right? It was to advocate for stronger laws to protect cyclists and pedestrians. So I think it was very Boulder because it was cycling, it was caring, it was about the community. It wasn't just about remembering, but it was about being activist and saying, we do well, we can do better. And I think that's really, to me, one of the fundamental themes is we do really well, we can do even better.
Yeah. Are there more things that you need to cross off your Boulder bucket list?
Oh yeah, well, I think there's how many 14ers, right? And the one that's probably the most unlikely to ever happen, but I'm really going to keep pushing for, is I really want to run with Ralphie.
Oh,
And
wow.
and I will say, all the conversations I've had with people in the few months I've been here, the person who's been the most adamant and firm in her backbone in saying no is Taylor, who oversees the Ralphie program. And but that is always going to be, she's not going to stop hearing about it.
That's good. I think you have to train pretty hard for.
Oh, so I've just by happenstance been in the gym with the Ralphie runners, and I will tell you, they work out hard.
It's just by happenstance that you're there at the same time.
Well, the first time it was, but I swear I think. So
Now he's like, all right, what time do you guys get here?
The runners on a Friday at an event they were having for fundraising for the Ralphie program, and I talked to Taylor about, oh yeah, I want to run with. I don't have to hold the rope, right? And then a couple of them were listening, and they said, well, why don't you come run all the stadium stairs with us tomorrow? I said, well, I don't need to do that part. But then I did happen to be in the gym that Tuesday, and I know when they work out. I learned when they worked out because they were there, and they're intense. I mean, they are really intense.
They're certainly athletes.
They're really good athletes. Yeah, I mean, I've watched them do. Some of them do multiple sets of pull-ups with 50, 60 pounds hanging off their shoulders, and and they do them with ease.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very Boulder.
Yes, that's very Boulder. Right, exactly. So that's more aspirational than.
Absolutely.
If that's on my bucket list, I'll probably never die.
Yeah, I'll ask you this again in 2 years, how you've made progress toward running with Ralphie. I'm sure there's someone in here that could make that happen, right? No, I see some, no, it's never happening. So I learned you started your listening tour.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
If you want to watch that video, if I can remember, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description. So click on the link to the video in the description. That's if I remember while I'm editing. So don't hold me to it. If you don't see the link, you can watch that entire video. You can learn more about the new chancellor. His name is Justin Schwartz. All right, so thank you for watching, man. I appreciate it. Look out for information like this for your team. If you like information like this, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button, or you can just give me a like. Share the video if you really, if you feel like somebody else can benefit from it. Otherwise, I'm out of here, man. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Peace.